Greetings, everyone. David Copeland, pastor of the Chapel Lane Free Will Baptist Church. I want to ask you a question. Are you a risk taker? Well, I'll explain that here in a minute. I'm up here at the church all by my lonesome. That might be a risk. I don't know. I'm just teasing. I want to talk about a story that comes out of the Old Testament prophet Daniel. And it's a story that's familiar to a lot of people. Nebuchadnezzar was the ruler of Babylon. And if you've read the book of Daniel or familiar with it, he had captured some young Hebrew men. One of them was Daniel, the author of the book. And then three other men that are known most of all by their Babylonian names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There came a day when Nebuchadnezzar got really full of himself and decided he was going to build a big idol in his own image. And he called a day when everybody's supposed to gather around and worship him, worship this image. And the schedule of services said that there was going to be music played, and at the sound of music, everyone was supposed to bow down and worship the image. Well, the day of the service came, and the music played, lots of different kinds of instruments. And when the music played, everyone bowed, except Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, that wasn't a good thing, because there was a price for standing for God and not worshiping this idol. Well, Nebuchadnezzar knew these boys, and I think he kind of liked them, so he thought, well, I'll give them a second chance. Maybe they didn't understand the instructions. Maybe they just didn't hear really the facts. So let me pick it up after they've already not worshiped, and the king calls them before him. Verse 13, it says, Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true? You have to give him credit. At least he checked the facts, right? Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I've set up? Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour unto the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. We look at that story, and we've all read the story of the three Hebrew children here in Daniel chapter 3. These three guys who, when confronted with the choice to bow down and worship an idol or die, they made the decision to defy the king's order and face the consequences of fiery furnace. Well, when you read this story in Daniel chapter 3, ask yourself, who was facing the greatest peril? Well, you might say that's kind of a stupid question, Brother David. Obviously, the answer is the three Hebrew children. Is that the answer? Was the greatest danger faced by those who worshiped the one true God, or those who worshiped a false God? Those who risked their lives, or those who risked their souls? Those who risked the wrath of man, or those who risked the wrath of God? Those who could choose to save their lives and the next second be in heaven, or those who could save their lives but spend eternity in hell? Often what we think is the safe decision is the most dangerous decision. It's not safe at all. But we can be sure that when we stand for God, when we follow God, it's always the best and safest thing we can do. That's for sure. No matter the cost, what the world calls a cost, no matter what the price is, the safest thing you and I can do is to follow Jesus and to serve Jesus no matter what. Well, it's a fact, Jack. The greatest risk takers in this story was not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It was those who chose to follow Nebuchadnezzar and his false idol. Let's be a stand-up follower of God, one unafraid to face the consequences. And the truth is, we're safer doing that than anything else. This is David Copeland, pastor of the Chapel Lane Free Will Baptist Church here in Searcy, Arkansas. And I'm just thinking out loud.